Hello, I'm BlizzTank. I'm a longtime competitive Team Fortress 2 player. I've played in 5 different regions of Highlander, and I've interacted with players from all of these different regions. I'm an RGL admin, but today I come before you as just another person just like you, another member of the Team Fortress 2 community. In saying that, there's not much reason to treat anybody in this community differently than each other. We are all players, all the same. We all care about the game, and we are all working together to get the best version of the game we can have. You don't have to have taken part in Save TF2 to have been a part in saving TF2. By just being the human being you are, by talking to other people, by continuing to care about and invest time into this game and potentially create content for it, you are having so much positive impact, and that can't be overstated enough. Understated enough, rather. Fuck, I'm so good with English. Now, when I look at Save TF2, I don't see some big solution coming from all of this. I don't think Save TF2 was ever going to be the answer for our problems. Valve's previous treatment of the community is more than indicative enough. I'll go and tab over to my browser for a little bit here, but it has been 1,925 days since the Jungle Inferno update. There's 1,925 different opportunities, at the least, for bitterness to set in, for people to blame Valve, and for people to blame each other. It's easy to blame when nothing is looking like it's going to change, and when it looks like everything is going to fall apart. It has been about 8 months since the Save TF2 campaign happened. That is a bit of a decent amount of time from now. Since then, we have seen updates to the game briefly, mostly just bug fixes, and we have seen a lot of the initial hope and optimism that people would have gotten from the Save TF2 campaign, from the potential good it would have, to just evaporate. But it's still important to look to all of this, to cherish it, and to look at how good of an impact it had. It may not have gotten the results we expected, it certainly got something, and a lot of people, if you look at it, are going to judge it in different ways. Drama over it. Did it work? You have people who don't even play the community looking at this. Everybody's looking at us, and everybody sees something different. That's natural, and those differences in perspective are wonderful. They're what make us a community. They make us the community we are. And whenever there is good done, there's going to be some bad that comes with it as well. But all of this drama, all of this discussion, it's all for the same cause, for the sake of the game, for the sake of the community, and us just doing what we think is best in the community. We're all trying, and sometimes we're going to try in different ways that conflict with each other. There's a sense of wisdom in trying to understand that, and I don't think you should just look down on anybody for involving themselves in this discussion. It may have worked, it may not have worked. The matter of it working is going to be subjectively different for everybody, and you're never just going to be able to answer, has this worked or has it not, because you do not work at Valve. You don't have the internals there. Now, in saying all of this preparation work, so to speak, it's important to understand just how many different subcultures the Team Fortress 2 community has, how many different microcosms it has. These are the official game modes, and these are just but a few of the community game modes that we have all come together to work on, to make, to maintain, to update even after the original owners have left, and to play together. All of these are different ways to enjoy the game. We enjoy this game together. We are better as a community together. We can't really have a community if all we focus on is just the fact that Valve isn't going to fix our issues, because it's never going to fix the issues we have. The issues that we have as a community is that we are so unwilling to work together on average. Even between just content creators, as an example, you'll have so many of them just conflict with each other to think that they're wrong, that this all isn't for anything, that there's no point to this, and then you'll have people who disagree with that, and all this does is just muddy the waters and make everything look worse. But I don't think things are going to get much worse, and actually I'd say things are starting to look better for the most part. Again, you saw that sort of cultural shift happened around, say, TF2. All those people just looking towards a brighter future and being willing to work together for it. I don't want to harp too long about drama or specifics, so I'm not going to, but it's just important to note that the way you enjoy the game is so different from the way any other individual person is going to enjoy the game, and that is a really good thing. That's wonderful. It's one of the main strengths of Team Fortress 2. It's why we all still play this game, because we can all just enjoy it in different ways together and all work to maintain that. As to what we can do to maintain it, Valve ain't gonna do it, I don't think. They'll give us bug fixes and small updates. That's fine. That's all we need, really. As long as there's still servers for this game, there's still going to be a community for this game. Now, if you look over to the competitive side of things a bit, all of them are struggling in their own ways. If you've looked it up, there's been a lot of corruption in the South American Team Fortress 2 scene as an example. All of these regions have their own issues. All of us have our own issues, but we are all stronger for it. We work together, we cooperate, and we all grow. The community becomes stronger. It doesn't matter that Valve isn't giving us updates. If we're all willing to stick it out and work together despite it, then we're all going to see the dividends of that, and we're all going to have a community that we can still invest time into. If you look at a game like Quake, or other older competitive games that just don't really have support anymore, they're still alive. And there's a really simple answer to that. As long as there is the ability to run servers for a game, you will still have a game. You will still have a community for that game. And I think with Valve, you still see the ability to have that for the most part. They're not really the sort of people to just randomly decide to shut everything off. Casual servers might be bot infested. It reflects really poorly on Valve that they don't solve that, but they're still community servers. And I don't think you're ever really just going to lose the ability to host or play on those community servers. So thus, there isn't anything that urgent. We will survive as a community, as long as we continue to work together. But if we all focus on tearing each other apart, on just who's right, who's wrong, what we need to do, then we're going to have issues. All anybody needs to do is to just focus on what they can do as an individual, and that doesn't even have to be anything grand. You don't have to do any community projects, you don't have to do anything. All you need to do is just to play about the game and to care about it. And eventually there will be people that will cater to that, who will keep upholding the game as long as they have the players for it. There is no one big danger. The only issue is that we aren't willing yet to work through all of our differences as a community, to reflect on the situations we're in, and look at what other regions, other communities, the casual and comp scene are struggling with. We just look for a ton of reasons to disagree. You see the competitive side looking down on casual players from time to time. You'll see a lot of reactionary drama regarding casual players who just look for any excuse to insult the competitive side of the scene. All of the things in this community that currently coexist outside of predatory behaviors and unexcusable things such as those need to change their focus and instead try and work together and converge on issues. Us finding every reason we can to say that other people are wrong or to judge other parts of the community is what's going to kill our community. We don't have the ability to just keep drawing players in, because we don't have the active support of Valve. So all we can do is lay the foundation and groundwork for a better future by building a better future actively together. You have Uncletopia. They're wonderful. You might disagree with their policies, you might get banned for them, and that sucks. It'll have a negative impact on you as an individual, but they care, they're trying their best, and they're doing a damn good job at it. They have all these different servers. They're wonderful. Now, at a simple level, you as a player form the community. I'm not going to go too into depth on this. I might link it in the description if there's interest, and I probably will actually, but just as a player, an interaction between another player is the core of that community. And if that interaction comes from you just insulting how other people play the game because you think your way is better, because you think you're better than them, because you think they're bad, then you're going to inevitably have an issue. If your sense of enjoyment comes from putting others down, that is what's going to kill this community more than anything else. That is what's going to turn the existing burnout and depression from how Valve is treating this game into people just leaving, which you already see that, especially in the more competitive side of the scene. I'll just briefly scroll through some of this. I don't expect you to read it. It's more so just a backdrop. But when we look for reasons to blame each other, when our first instinct is to get into drama and just yell that each other are wrong, all of the existing fire that's spread, all the existing wildfire just cataclysmizes. All of the current drama that you have at a lingering level because Valve just doesn't give the attention to the game that it deserves becomes so much more of an issue, and we become divided. And the issue that our community faces is that it is very, very divided. You look at how casual players talk about competitive and vice versa, you look at how certain content creators talk, and that's how you see that issue. I don't think I really need to go into that much more detail on it, but if you, at a bare minimum, just think about what you're doing with other people, what you're doing to other people, how your actions are impacting them, then we're going to be okay. I don't think there's really that much more depth to this than that. You just have to talk about different issues, you have to view issues in a different way, and you have to be able to express it healthily. That is all that matters, and that is how you will save this community.